Okay. Okay, 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. The location of the fire exit doorways are on either end of the hallway in case of emergency. The AED machine is hanging on the wall directly across from that door. Please turn off all cell phone and take your, please take the roll call.
Norman Bass,
Here.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Here.
Ed Haight,
Here.
Carol Rock,
Here.
Jonathan Vogel.
Here.
Give a minute to read the minutes for approval of August 15th, 2022.
Make a motion on the minutes. Second.
Motion made by Carl Rock, second by Eddie Haight to approve the minutes of August 15th, 2022 as presented. Clerk, please call the vote.
Norman Bass,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Haight,
Aye.
Carol Rock,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move down to our public hearing. Cheryl, you please show approved public hearing. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, the Burroughs Kaiser subdivision. Matt, are you representing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you tell the board what you would like to do?
Alright. So the intention here is to put a single family house on Hamlin Town Line Road. House a little over 800 feet off the road. I'll be set back into the wooded area in the back there. What we're here for this board is we'd like to put up 2 barn garages, detached garages. And in this zoning district, they're not specifically allowed, so we're looking for a variance to put up the 2 barns. And we're showing one of the barns in front of the front line of the house, and that would be the second variance for that. Both barns are going to be in the wooded area in the back. You probably won't get to see them from the road. That is our general presentation.
Yeah, you're quite a ways back in there.
Yep, the barns are 760 and 860 from the road. Again, mostly going to be blocked out by the trees. Maybe the initial barn you might be able to see, depending how much they got to clear around the edge. But the other one's definitely going to be hidden from the road. The house is going to be hidden from the road.
These would be like that type of pole barn construction.
Yep, full barn construction is going to store all of the lawn equipment, tractor, some old wooden boats, some 4-wheeler, snowmobile, kit toy type stuff like that. Any second vehicles will go in the detached garage.
Okay. Is there any questions from any board members? If not, at this point in time, open up for a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this proposal, please give your name and address. I see no one, I hear no one, therefore at this point in time, I will close the public hearing. Okay, board, any other questions? This is pretty straightforward. Okay, I'll read through the 5 criteria. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby property will created by the granting of the area variance. I would say no.
No. Character of the neighborhood, same.
2, whether benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some feasible method other than an area variance.
Not there.
With our cold ways constructed. Number 3, whether the requested area variance is substantial.
Not in that location.
No, it's large acreage also. Number 4, whether proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district. No, I would say no, there's many buildings, barns in that area, in an ag district, ag area. Number 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the zoning board of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
You could say.
He's got too many things.
Everything,
Self-created.
yeah. Okay, board.
I make a motion that the application of Victor and Tiffany Burrows at property at 1067 Hamlin Parma Town Line Road, seeking a variance from Town Code 520-18A4 to construct 2 non-agricultural storage building detached garages for residential use, where storage barns are not specifically allowed in the commercial neighborhood business zoning district. Also, relief from Town Code 520-27C to conduct these barns where it states that the storage barn needs to be placed behind the main front foundation line of the principal dwelling on the lot, and the building to the east is going to be in front of the main foundation.
Which is one of them.
There's one's gonna be in front of the front foundation, which would be the building
Yeah.
to the east. There was no negative comments from the public hearing. We read the 5 criteria. It's the minimum variance allowed, and it's a type 2 seeker.
Second.
Motion made by Eddie Hayes, second by Rocky Ellsworth to pass the area variance requested by Victor and Tiffany Burrows, 1067 Hamlin Parma Town Line Road, for variance needed for the construction of 2 storage barns. Clerk, please call the vote.
Norman Bass.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Haight.
Aye.
Carl Rock.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Carried. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Matt,
Okay.
when do they plan on starting construction?
I believe well, the owner's right here, he can answer the time.
Maybe middle of next summer, or this coming summer.
Okay, because the reason I ask it is there's a time limit on the variances, so you might wanna, within that time limit, begin.
Okay, what's the time limit?
6 months. You have to at least prove that you started something within 6 months.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to,
Come back.
Yeah.
We can renew it. We can renew it.
yeah, you can renew, but I was just wanted you to have that in the back of your mind.
Is there a renewal application, or is it?
Just call me.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Good luck.
Thanks.
You don't have to have it completed, you just maybe dig a
Yeah,
hole, start something.
Yeah, you get started.
Just for sale, for postal.
There you go. Perfect. It works.
Get a driveway back in there or something, you know,
All the driveway will be.
some post holes.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jesse Cross? So you're seeking 2 variances, correct? One for the barn, the other is the use variance.
Correct.
We'll do the area variance first, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, tell the board what you would like to do.
So basically, we're looking to be able to have some friends visit us. We have a family that lives out of town, and they'd like to bring their camper and stay, park it on our property, out of view of the road, behind the barn, for 1 to 2 weeks. when they come to visit.
So, but that would be around the pond?
Behind
That
the
would be
big
behind
barn.
the big barn
Behind here?
and to the,
We're
To
doing,
the north of the big barn.
North of the big barn.
correct.
yeah, we're doing the other variance though now, right, Norm?
Yeah,
We're doing the use or the area variance
Okay.
first?
that would be connected with the use variance.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
That's okay, that's not a problem. It can get kind of, so we're talking about you would like to place,
Structure,
another structure.
correct. It's about 120 feet from the road, where the water is flowing, south to north. It's about 100 feet from the property line to the west. There's a locust tree in that area at the corner of the pond. Looking to put a 10 by 12 movable, like an Amish built type shed.
He custom built it for me and we brought it to camp, our seasonal campsite, and we're looking to bring it home. I don't wanna get rid of it, cause it was custom built for me, so we're looking to bring it home.
So it's an Amish 10 by 12 movable shed.
Style after that. I built it, but I built it in the driveway and got a letter for building it there and it made it disappear and now we're looking to bring it back.
Oh, okay. Okay, is there any other questions from a board member on this? At this point in time, open up a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this variance, please give your name and address. I already know what the answer is going to be. It's going to be here. Okay, at this point in time, I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, board, what's your thoughts on this 10 by little Amish building?
Well, we're gonna include, they have the other accessory buildings there that are already pre-existing.
Yes, that includes the barn and,
Right, because it says there's 5 now, so.
That's gonna be, that was my question. What's the total number that you have there now?
That would make 5.
This one would make 5, and was there something you were gonna get rid of? Will the number still be at 5 when we're done?
Possibly. More than likely it would be 4 for a little while. Right, there's a chicken coop there now.
There's a dilapidated chicken coop. Are we counting that as?
Sherman Miller's, one of Sherman Miller's old chicken coops.
It's just,
it's been there a
It's
while.
falling apart.
But
So,
you feel you could get rid of that.
I could also rebuild it and have a good chicken coop. Couple roof trusses and some, we're still up in the air about that.
So basically, we'd end up with the 5,
Right, correct. 5 total.
but this one's back to the north by 150 feet or something like that? The shed that you're bringing in?
It would be behind the house to the west. There's an inlet to the
okay.
pond.
There.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
I think you said last month, the one we have listed as number 4, is that the one, is that basically the shed we're talking about that was there and
Correct.
then moved? In
Yep,
that aerial picture?
yep.
Just trying to make sure all the numbers we have are, if we don't have too many or not enough in the motion.
I see what you're looking at, you know?
So I think you said number 4 is when you were building that.
Yep,
so
number
that's-
4 is
That's gonna be the one that's gonna go over there.
Right here.
Yeah, more so right there, yeah.
Okay.
Correct. So that would make a total of 5.
So it's going over there.
Okay, any further questions? Before I read? Okay, at this point in time, number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance.
Would be staying the same as it has been for years.
Okay, so that would be no. Number 2, will the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some feasible method other than an area variance?
Pre-existing buildings.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, the barn's been there as long as the house.
Yep.
Right. 100 years probably, or whatever. Okay. Number 3, whether the requested area variance is substantial. Not really, not
for that
10 by 12, or whatever it is, that's pretty small.
And the rest of it pre-existing.
Number 4, whether proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district.
It's not gonna change anything.
It's surrounded by ag
Yep.
people. Number 5, my favorite one. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the zoning board of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
With the exception of the one building, it wasn't self-created because they were all pre-existing.
Okay, board. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion for Jesse Cross, 2136 Brick Schoolhouse Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-31 to have more than 3 accessory structures on the property, to add another one for a total of 5 structures. There's no comments from the public hearing. The 5 criteria have been read. Type 2 seeker.
Second.
Motion made by Carl Roth, second by Rocky Ellsworth, to approve the area variance requested by Jesse Cross, 2136 Brick Schoolhouse Road, for the addition of another accessory structure. Clerk, please poll the vote.
Norman Vaz,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Haight,
Aye.
Carl Roth,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Now we'll go to the use variance. Now, this would be where you wanted to move in like more than one, like a,
Well, we have a camper,
So our camper would be parked
so
there,
that would be camper 1.
so that's where this second camper comes in. We have our friends visit us, they bring their camper, are we able to have them do that?
okay. But
The way I read code 454-20, any resident of the town of Hamlin may have a non-paying guest park his automobile trailer or camping trailer on the residence premises for a period not exceeding 14 consecutive days during any calendar year, provided the vehicle is located not less than 10 feet from any building. And it continues, but
It also states that you can't, use for living or sleeping purposes.
That's under the storage of trailers.
so basically,
It's confusing the way that
Right.
it's written.
so that's kind of what we're asking for permission for instead of forgiveness in this aspect. Can somebody more can we have more than our camper there and can somebody stay in their camper?
Not for no longer than 2 weeks.
More than likely just on the weekends.
It would have to be 14 consecutive days. It can't be just the weekends. It's
Right, but like,
Yeah, 14
it
consecutive
would only
days.
be there for,
Right, it wouldn't be stored there for,
it might be stored there Monday through Friday in between those 2
And we
weekends.
can't, unless you get a permit, I mean, you can't, they can't sleep in it and they can't live in it.
Okay,
It's only for if you're in like, tourist camp or like Hamlin Beach State Park.
so now as far as
That's why
storage,
you're here to speak with, you know. the
and as
zoning.
far as storage, if my, let's just say a family member has a second camper and doesn't have a place to store it, there was something about that it couldn't be more than 6 months and it had to be permitted, you had to get a permit for it as well?
And you can only have one, well, they're not really clear on licensed trailers. They only speak about unlicensed. If you had an unlicensed trailer, you can only have one. It would be parked or stored
And if it's
outside of a building.
vehicle, a licensed vehicle,
Outside of the building.
So, let me just, 454-20. It says, no person shall occupy or park for use any house trailer or mobile home within the town of Hamlin, except within the boundaries of a house trailer park or a tourist camp, or subject to the provisions of 520 zoning 520-25. I'd have to read that in a minute. Any resident of the town may have a non-paying guest park his automobile trailer or camping trailer on the residence premises. You still can't occupy it. You can park it on there, but you can't occupy it,
Okay.
alright?
And it has to be for 14 consecutive days. It can't be split up into weekends unless someone else decides
Right,
that.
but it still says you can't occupy it. It says you can park it there, but you can't occupy it.
Correct.
Yes.
so there's no provision to be able to occupy it unless you become a labor camp?
No, a house trailer park, a tourist camp.
So,
Okay.
Well, you could still go through with your application. I mean, we were just discussing what the zoning code said. Absolutely, if you wanna move forward, absolutely.
See, the problem with the use variance is, I've been on the board quite a while, it's rarely used because it's kind of a tough criteria to meet.
right,
And be honest with you, with spot zoning, that's pretty much what it is. And what happens if you allow it, say, okay, you folks, I know of 4 other big ponds in town that'll be in here within, you know what I'm trying to say, pretty quick you have them all over the place, and therefore, that's the reason, kind of the reason behind it.
I mean, and you're not trying to make money off of this, correct?
right.
And if you go and sell your house, you're not gonna lose money because you don't have this variance, correct?
Correct.
And that's one of the criteria that you couldn't realize is, reasonable return if you didn't get this use variance. And you're not gonna lose anything by not getting it.
No person shall
Right, and you know, because I'm on the home within that. But then it says.
Yes, I'm not
any
sure how
house over
to,
the town of Hamlin may have
You can open a public hearing and go
we,
forward.
I'll open the public hearing, I have no problem with that, cause it's part of the thing, and see if anybody comments,
park it there.
that's fair enough,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
guest and prize.
you're here.
Yeah, we're just trying to, do the
No, I
right thing
understand
here.
exactly where you're coming from, you know, and
I'm sure it happens, just gonna put it out there.
unfortunately, we live by this thing, you
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's not my personal feeling, but we live by, at this point in time, open up a public hearing, anyone wishing to speak for or against this proposal, please give your name and address. Yes,
Michael Bassett, 697 Weiler Road.
Okay?
As somebody who just moved here a few years ago, who has family who also has a camper, I'm curious to see if there could be a variance to allow people to occupy it for a short period of time. So I'm in favor of
Okay.
allowing that.
Anyone else? Okay, at this point in time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Any comments on the board? I will read the criteria. Number one, there's 4 factors that we go by. Number one, cannot realize a reasonable return substantial as shown by competent financial evidence.
That's no, I mean,
That's,
they're not losing any money.
no. Alleged hardship is unique and does not apply to substantial portion or district of district or neighborhood.
That's a no. It applies to the whole district and neighborhood.
Number 3, requested variance will not alter essential character of the neighborhood. It probably would, because you live right in the middle of an ag district, which is farm country. Number 4, well, the alleged hardship has not been self-created.
Absolutely.
And, this one definitely been self-created. That's our 4 criteria. We've had quite a bit of pressure sometimes on campers and parking here, there. And it's very difficult for us to do some of these things because if you're allowed to do it, then your neighbor who has a pond can do the same thing. Pretty quick, you're gonna have all sorts of campsites all over the place, and I don't know if that's where we really wanna go. And I understand where you're coming from, I honestly do. Unfortunately, we are an ag town.
Which we still are an ag, we have plenty of land for ag, it's just a small portion.
Oh, no, I understand, but sometimes these small portions develop into larger portions, you know?
Right, well, that's why we're going through this process, because we don't just want to, you know, do what some people are
You're doing
doing.
good, I mean,
So-
I respect everything you're doing, I honestly do. Unfortunately, we're tied by this code, which is, pretty restrictive on use variances. We can, the area variance we can manipulate, but this one's a tough one. Any questions from the board?
No, but the sad part is what they want to do is fairly common, but.
Right, and that's what I mean, honestly, yeah. We're just trying to go through the process, but.
Any further question? If not, we'll have to.
I'd like to speak, sir.
Sure.
There was one that had quite a few campsites on Facebook for rent, and that was shut down. The owner of the property was the uncle, and he signed paperwork stating that it was shut down and there's no more camping there, because you can't have anything unless you're like in Hamlin Beach. You have to be in a facility that handles campers. So, And that was one we would never have known about, because people tend to be tight-mouthed, except that they have something they really want everybody to know about, so they can do it. Not speaking about you guys, but you just, you have to find by the zoning code.
Okay.
Well, the question we asked before, which way do you hear this motion?
Make an application to deny, or make a motion to deny the application.
Okay, we've been told the other way too, so
But,
make it in the affirmative and then vote it down.
we can make it to deny.
Any way you wanna do it.
This is an unfortunate thing for us to do, but I have to make the motion to deny the application for Jesse Cross seeking relief from Town Code 454 to have campers on the property for a camping area. Code states only one camper with a permit. No campers can be used for sleeping or living purposes. We went through the 4 criteria, and they have to be all, they can't be, they have to all be no's for us, no's, correct, to pass this. And with the, by 2 of the 4 being yes, it's not like the area variance. This is the way we have to go by this. I would make a motion to deny this application.
Second.
Motion made by Eddie Hayes, second by Rocky Ellsworth, to deny the application of Jesse Cross, 2136 Brick Schoolhouse Road for a use variance for the keeping of campers around his pond. Clerk, please call the vote.
Norman Vaz,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Haig,
Aye.
Carl Rock,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Aye.
Carried, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you, you know who's got sort of fish? Phil's case?
I was gonna say it's related to Phil. I knew that.
Okay.
What's his name?
Well,
Yeah, Phil's father's brother was here.
okay, we'll move down the agenda. Michael Bassett, 697 Water Road.
Does everyone still have their applications and everything from previous month?
Last month, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything's prepared.
I'll share.
Hey, mister, would you like to tell the board what you'd like to do?
Sure. So somebody had, was looking to rehome some goats, and asked me if I was interested. We have 2 young daughters and they'd love to have goats on the property. So I read the code, and the code basically states for 5 acres, you're allowed up to 4 goats. My property is 4.6 acres.
Yeah, you wanna,
So there's, you know, I'd be happy with 2 goats. I don't think I want more than 2, but there's no code for 2 goats, so.
yeah, you're one of those folks that wanted, which originally it was center of the road, now it's a right of way, that's how you lost.
Oh, okay.
That's how you arrived where you are. This is, you're one amongst many.
you're gonna have, how many goats are you gonna have?
I don't think I want more than two. I think two's plenty. Maybe a third if there's.
Well, if you want, just so because we need a number so we can put in the motion. If you want 3, we'll make it 3, if 4, or 2.
After my failure on the chicken deal, had we just better say the 4 so that he's covered?
I was gonna ask how my odds were better. We go for 4. No worries.
Well, you see, we can't go over what gets printed, so that's.
If we make a motion for 2 and Cheryl sees 4 there, then you're ultimately in violation of the variance, so.
Understood.
Just wanna make sure that if you only have 2, that's fine, but you can have up to 4, if that's the. And they'll be kept in this back shed, that shows on your property?
Correct, yeah, so I'll be fencing, I'd like to, that's the permit, but I'd like to fence it. The whole back half of the property there is their own. I know that they'll.
Oh, yeah.
Right down. Pretty over.
Could be on top of your car.
That's really over to recommend that.
Seriously.
Very good thing to do. Okay.
I make a motion to schedule a public hearing for Michael Bassett, 697 Weiler Road. Relief from Town Code 520, 41-41B1, 2A, III, to have 4 goats on his property, where the code states that 5 acres are required for 4 goats, and he has 4.6 acres on his parcel at the present time. It will be on October 17th after 7 p.m.
Second.
Motion made by Eddie Hay, second by Carl Rod to schedule a public hearing for Michael Bassett, 697 Weiler Road, for area variance needed for the keeping of 4 goats on less than 5 acres for October 17th after 7 o'clock. Clerk, please poll the vote.
Norman Vaz,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Carl Rock,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
Carried. You're all set. Have your money prior to October 4th.
On the Saturday ahead, which would be the 15th, sometime after 10:30, we come out and view, so we know what we're voting on in that.
Oh, okay.
So sometime after 10:30 that Saturday morning, we'll come to look. Here, meaningless question, but I've had a lot of experience with goats. What breed?
Not the fainting type, I know. Specifically asked if they're the ones that faint, but they don't, no.
No, like the Boer goats for meat, or like the Alpines for milk, or? Good question.
I don't think it's either.
Okay.
You know, they're,
Right, I mean, there's lots of breeds, but I mean, the meat side or the milk side, or?
I'm guessing if they're pets, they're not gonna be for me.
they're not gonna be for me.
Well, if you go for the milk, I mean, you can get into cheese and soap and everything else, so.
True.
And 4 goats.
Among many other things on our farm, we had a substantial number of goats, so that's why I was asking. Good. Like that Saturday morning, we'll be there to just see what everything looks like.
Okay? All set.
Great, thank you.
Good luck with the goats.
That's okay. You know,
They'll be just like dogs.
I went by someone over on Magpie got a whole bunch of little goats.
Yeah, they got the pygmy goats too,
Yeah, it's the pygmy goats, they're adorable.
and then they've got the fainting goats.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Nathan and Amy Smith. Benedict Beach Road, right?
What's that?
You would like to erect
An outbuilding, an accessory building.
So here's the house.
30 by 50, correct?
That's what we'd like to do, yeah.
I know.
Right,
And,
Yes, that's the first.
yes, because we live on the lake, we'd like to put it in our backyard, which I call my front yard. It's between the road and the house.
There you go.
we could put it in the front, they can't put it in the
Yeah. Not as long as probably the conservation.
Right, that,
Are you concerned at all about the size of it? 30 by 50, I went by your yard, it's,
I've staked it out, it fits.
oh, is that?
Yeah, we
that's-
saw it.
Oh, you saw the stakes,
Okay.
yeah, they're leaning over a little bit, but yeah, I've staked it out, I mean,
Cheryl, that, for down on the lake, isn't that behind the house?
That is a backyard.
That's the backyard.
Yes.
Backyard.
Yeah,
Right,
so it's,
yeah, I was,
so it isn't in front,
It's in front of the, well, that's tough.
It's in the front or
Is it
back?
truly in front of the front main foundation line? Per our code, yes, in any other application, in any other neighborhood area, we consider it the front yard, but in the lake, it's considered the rear yard.
mhm.
I agree. That, we had that question when we,
I don't think you can have it both ways, because then they could come in and argue and say, why do I need to get a variance to put a deck out? If that's my backyard. When you want me to put a variance, you have to come and get a variance for the front of the house. Technically, that's front of the house,
Okay,
or the lake side is the front of the house.
yeah, the lakeside is the front.
Yeah, it's always been
So we can't do anything there.
Right.
Why do I put it in the,
in the rear.
So we put it in the rear.
yes, yeah, it is the rear. In some other neighborhoods, that's the front yard, but in your case, it's the backyard.
do they need a variance?
Does this require a variance?
It's not in front of the house.
It's not there because
It's
it's.
not in the front of the main,
It's not in front,
I know,
and
it's in the rear.
it's in the rear,
I
yeah.
agree with you.
Do you need one though,
Not
a-
special.
you need one to construct
Right.
one, where it's not a specified accessory structure,
yes.
that's the one you need.
Right,
No,
but not the second one.
not the second one, because
Okay.
technically that is the back of their house.
Yep, I threw that in because I wanted everybody's opinion.
I believe there's a roadside setback of 35 feet, I should be able to meet that, no problem. I think I'm good on the lot line setbacks.
It's supposed to be 6 feet inside
Yeah.
lot line.
If I can do
You're not-
that.
Everything on impervious surface.
Anything less than 150 frontage, you need the minimum 6 feet for side setback.
100.
This isn't gonna block anybody's view, sight distances, right?
From the lake, no.
No, no, not from the lake, I mean, pulling out of their driveways or anything, this isn't gonna be a.
No.
It's back enough from, if the stakes, you had those white stakes in,
Like 40
right?
feet
Yeah.
off the road, so
That would
the
go with my
setback
only
pretty good.
concern.
The impervious surfaces, I believe I'm really close to hitting the 15%. I don't know if that is something we need to calculate out, it might be within 200 square feet.
How good your math in your head fast, Carol?
Get the calculator.
And the maximum height as well, I think it's supposed to be under 15 feet peak.
Yeah.
So I believe the preliminary plans I submitted, I believe the peak is at 19 feet. And that's hopefully gonna give me some usable, storage up top.
10-foot sidewalks.
But
16-foot sidewalks?
I think 16 is eve, was that an eve height?
Well, is that what
Yeah,
that is? That's
looks like it's-
16.
Can't exceed 35
What were
feet.
you
Oh, I
looking
don't wanna go 35,
I mean, from the ground to the tip of
Five.
it.
Right, I think it's 19, the
Okay.
person that was there together.
at? So you need a 4
To the
foot variance? Because the maximum height shall not exceed 15 feet.
Yep.
So he would need a 4 foot height variance.
By 2021,
I got 520
CB.
C
4B.
3B.
we can, if we schedule the public hearing, we can put in their height. We can put in impervious, and if it doesn't, if you get that figured out and it doesn't need to be in there,
I can just take it out, I won't put it in,
right,
right. But we do have to
you
have,
need a height
I can,
and to have,
What's the impervious section?
it is,
It's 15% for the zone.
no, it's, well, maximum lot coverage with impervious surface shall be 75%.
What's the numbers?
I don't have the numbers.
I think
520,
520,
21,
520, 20,
C5.
D,
that's correct, C5.
5D.
520-20, C, 4. Which is maximum lot coverage shall be 75%.
Which one are you reading, Cheryl? C,
520-20, C,
mhm.
4. Under SR zone,
I am,
okay,
I'm reading 520-21, you said?
no, 520-20,
20, okay, that's probably why I'm on one page off.
I'm sorry,
Oh, no,
I must have.
no, it's gotta be 21, and mine says 21.
I'm on 21.
For
I
SR,
like Cheryl's answer, but I think,
Mine says 520-20.
think because we're
Maybe
shoreline.
SR,
yeah, my SR is 520-21.
yeah, mine says 520. Oh, I see, the pages are different. Look at 520-21 for the special purpose district, and then over here.
75% coverage,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Cut grass if I do that much, so.
That's why I'm like, I see, yeah, 5 says max lot coverage with impervious surface 15%.
Yeah.
20. That could be wrong.
2021, shoreline residential.
Yep,
Hang on,
yes,
let me see, let me see.
5,
520,
under
21.
C5.
Okay, so it says 15%, my pages are mismarked.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that, it says
Okay,
5, yeah, thank you.
I was starting to wonder if I had a typo in mine.
Maximum height, okay.
5.
See, that's where I got the 15% from.
Maximum lot coverage.
Yep,
You're correct.
Maximum building
Okay.
height
15 feet, yep. So
for
not exceed,
accessory structures is 15 feet.
yep,
Nothing over 15, maximum height of 15 and 15% impervious.
1500.
Yeah.
that's, yeah, it's good size.
Talk to Karen about that, if you see her next week.
Okay, well, we're working from home now.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for Nathan and Amy Smith, 6984 Benedict Beach Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-21B 2A to construct a accessory structure. Also seeking relief from 520-C-3B for a 4-foot height variance, where town code states 15 feet, asking for 19 feet. Also seeking relief from 520-21-C5 for town code. Public hearing to be on October 17th after 7 o'clock.
Second.
Motion made by Carl Rock, second by Eddie Hay to schedule public hearing for Nathan Amy Smith, 6984 Benedict Beach Road, for variances needed for the construction of an accessory building, October 17th after 7 o'clock. Clerk, please poll the vote.
Norman Vaz,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Carl Rock,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Carried.
Keep the stakes up for us, because we'll be down on the 15th.
You come play basketball.
No problem.
Or take them down and we put them up for us.
It's approximate, but
Yeah.
roughly where I thought I could put it.
Well, you can spray paint on the ground or something if you don't want the stakes there. Just so we can see
Absolutely.
on the 15th.
15th. Alright. Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good evening.
I'll talk to you this week.
Alright, what do you
About
need?
the impervious surface and everything else.
Yeah, if you need to come out and measure or double check.
Really, all I need is the insurance survey for that. Because it includes the footprint of the house, any concrete, that all works in the impervious surface. Okay,
And all your neighbors within 500 feet get notified, so if they start, if you can explain it out ahead, a lot of times it solves a lot of questions.
We have some have garages we've gone down and looked at down the street. My parents live next door.
that's one in favor for it.
So we're guessing it's not gonna be a complaint.
Oh,
They're not gonna say
Okay,
anything.
take care, bye.
You too.
Bradley and Martha Ryan, 48 Kendall Mills Road.
Yeah, I'm Brad Ryan, a longtime resident of Hamlin. Wanted to get a permanent gazebo installed, went to get a building permit and found out that my zoning only allows for 2 accessory buildings, and I have 2 sheds there right now. And I need a variance to add a gazebo to the property.
To put up the gazebo.
What's that?
You needed to
Yeah, 2.
put up, what was the size of the gazebo?
It's described as 10 foot by 12 foot, and that would be the roof lines.
Sure. Okay.
It's gonna be about 15 feet behind the rear of the house. We've had a temporary one that we put up every year and take down. That's getting kind of worn, and that's bothers me, so I'd like to get more of a permanent one there installed.
Okay.
I have 2 sheds because I have no garage. It's an old house built in the 1800s, no attached garage, so I do use the sheds for a lot of storage.
Well, I understand that, because today's world, if you don't have it inside, it's gone.
Yeah,
That's the sad part of it, but it is.
yeah. Ours have a lot of gardening stuff, because we have a lot of gardens. Flower gardens mostly.
Okay. Any further questions from the board? If not, we'll schedule a public hearing. Remember, Buffalo schedule.
I think she included a picture of the.
Yes,
Nice looking.
yes, it is.
It's gonna be an asset to his property, definitely.
Yeah, definitely an asset.
They're an asset to anybody, they're beautiful, I love them.
You know, I lived there for 38 years at Kendall Mills. For the first 30 years, I could never use the backyard because you get eaten alive by mosquitoes. And my second wife said, let's get put a screened up, a screen gazebo up there.
Sure.
And see if that helps, and of course it helps. So we've actually been able to enjoy the backyard, which is nice.
Okay, any other questions? If not,
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing sometime after 7 PM on October 17th for Bradley and Martha Ryan, 48 Kendall Mills Road, for construction of a gazebo, which will also be a 3rd accessory building on the property.
Second.
motion made by Rocky Ellsworth, second by Carl Rock, to schedule a public hearing for Bradley and Martha Ryan, 48 Kendall Mills Road, for an application for a variance for the construction of a gazebo on his property. Clerk, please pull the roll.
Norman Vaz,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Kevin Ross,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Aye.
Carried. Okay, have your money prior to October 4th,
Okay,
and we'll be there the Saturday prior to that Monday, just to see
Yeah.
kinda where you wanna
That would
put
be the
it.
15th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you, so if you can just stake it or
Fancy,
put some
so.
paint on the ground or something?
Yeah, we've got an area that, where the old gazebo used to sit, so that's where the area will be.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
you have a good evening.
Thank you,
All right.
take care.
Yep, all right.
Okay, anything from, astounding lawyer?
Oh, jeez.
Shucks, I have nothing. Okay, so keep it short.
We need adjournment, would like to be
Oh, we're waiting
first.
to see if you had anything to say.
Oh, no, I didn't, nothing else.
Barring no further business, I move we adjourn.
Second.